Hey guys, so in this video I'm going to talk about how much it's costing me to live and travel on the road full time. Alright, so this is where I'm hanging out today, guys. Nice little day use parking lot here at Mission Trails Regional Park in San Diego, California. Just back in San Diego, taking care of some business for a little bit. Got my taxes done today and kind of just going over my finances and how much money I've been spending living and traveling on the road full time. So I'm going to go ahead and share some of that information with you guys. Okay, so one of the most common questions I get is what kind of budget I have and how much it really costs to live on the road full time and travel. And you know, it's really hard to come up with a figure or number. There's just so many variables involved. Every individual is different in their habits, and so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use very general averages. I will start off with my monthly bills, guys. I have a cell phone, which is $50 a month, my mobile internet connection, which is $80 a month, my insurance for the van, which is $30 a month, so my monthly bills are $160 a month. Okay, and there's, of course, there's like a yearly registration fee for the van, and that for me, for this van, is about $100 a year. Okay, and that's just, you know, registration once a year. Okay, now the other expenses, of course, would be gas and food, and that, once again, there's just a lot of variables involved. With gas, how much you drive, what kind of vehicle you're driving, the miles per gallon. For me, in this van on the highway, I get about 17 miles per gallon, and my average gas a month since I hit the road has been between $200 and $300 a month. That's an average. Okay, now in the initial part of my trip, when I took off 6 months ago, I did 2,000 miles in about 2 weeks. So of course, in that month, that amount for gas that month was well over $300, but the following month I did not move around as much, and so that of course brought the average down. So speaking in averages, it's around $200 to $300 a month. Okay, it just all depends on how much you're moving each day, how many days you're moving in the month. So, you know, there's just a lot of variables out there. You really have to look at your miles per gallon with your vehicle and how much ground you actually plan on covering. Okay, of course, the next big expense is food. That, once again, there's a lot of variables. My average per month is between $200 and $300. That, of course, varies. A lot of times I'll stock up, and if I'm preparing all my meals, I can keep that average pretty low. So it really just depends. It varies what kind of stores are available when you're traveling. I try to shop at like Walmarts that have a grocery section because they tend to have the same products I'm used to buying, and their prices are usually pretty low. Sometimes you'll be stuck in a town where they don't have a Walmart and they just have a really expensive grocery store, so you don't have a choice and you end up spending more. So that's where I think the variation for me comes in with the food expenses. Okay, so now, of course, the next big expense would be vehicle maintenance, and that can vary greatly. You know, if you have a major breakdown, that's going to bring the average way up. I didn't really come up with an average for my last 6 months on the road. I did replace 2 tires, that was about $300, and I replaced a headlight, that was about $14. So I feel like I was lucky. I really didn't have any breakdowns. So I'm going to go ahead now and touch on the money that I've made since I've been on the road. I initially took off from San Diego with about $2,500. That was an amount that I was comfortable with. I felt like if I had a breakdown, I would be able to take care of the repairs and still have money to continue on my path. Now for me, I had 2 work camping jobs lined up before I hit the road full time. I had the sugar beet harvest in North Dakota, and I had the Amazon Camper Force lined up, so I knew I would be making money at 2 different stops along the route that I had planned out. So I was able to travel and see a lot of new places I've never been to, which is just a fantastic experience for me. And then along the way, I was able to stop in new places and work those 2 different jobs, build up my savings again, and of course experience those jobs themselves, which were an experience of their own, meet new people through those, and it was just all in all, for me, that's the way that I have to travel. I'm not rich in any way. Like I said, when I hit the road initially, I had $2,000 to my name. I am not a trust fund baby. I don't have any other sources of income except for the small amount of money that I get through YouTube. So really, we'll go ahead and touch on the amounts of money that I made with those 2 jobs when I was on the road. Okay, so for the sugar beet harvest, I showed up just before October 1st in North Dakota. My first day of work was actually, I think, September 28th. I started a couple days before the 1st doing some training shifts, and then I worked from October 1st to October 16th. I had a couple days off in those 16 days, so I really worked a total of 16 days over a period of about 18 days. So I was in North Dakota at the job site campground for a total of 3 weeks. I showed up a few days early. They allowed me to show up a few days early even before my training days just to get settled in. So I was there for a total of 3 weeks, and the 16 days of work that I worked, I made $2,900 after taxes. That's total in my pocket, $2,900 for 16 days of work. That's really the most amount of money I've ever made in that short amount of time. So for me, it was a great money-making opportunity. The experience itself was awesome. Having the free campground with showers and bathrooms really made it a worthwhile deal for me. Because there was so much overtime involved, those 2 weeks, almost 3 weeks that I was there, I was spending very little money because all I was doing was working and eating. So it got my savings built back up, so I felt comfortable moving on from there. I had another couple weeks on the road before I arrived in Kentucky for my Amazon job, so I tried to hit as many spots as I wanted to see between North Dakota and Kentucky. I stayed at Amazon for 7 weeks. I worked a total of 7 weeks there. After taxes, total I made $3,665. That was for 7 weeks. That included the bonus, all the gift cards and stuff that I got. So that was the total I made there. So now that I am currently unemployed from Kentucky, I headed back out west. I knew that I was going to need to get my taxes done and attend to some personal things. So I swung back through San Diego, California, my hometown, spending a couple weeks here before I move on again, just kind of formulating my next route. I have applied and I have an interview set up for a work camping job in the Grand Teton National Park area in Jackson, Wyoming. So that's looking good. It's looking like that's going to work out. So that'll be how I make my money this summer, and then from there I'll move to the sugar beet harvest and then Amazon again. So I'm kind of, the plan that I have is to basically work 3 seasonal jobs a year, a summer job, the sugar beet harvest in the fall, and then Amazon going into the winter, and then basically be able to take off from the first of the year all the way till May. So I get a good little, what is that, January, February, March, April, about 4 months off a year. And then of course the periods of a few weeks between the work camping jobs. So for me, you know, it's not ideal. I would love, of course, to just be able to travel and roam around all the time. I just don't have passive income like that, so I actually need to work jobs and keep that savings account built up so I have money to travel with. So that's how I'm doing it, guys. You know, you just got to be creative, have a little bit of confidence in yourself and the courage to put yourself out there. And like for me right now, the hardest part of all this is just being unemployed and being okay with the fact that I don't know where my next dollar is coming from, but I have a good amount of savings from working hard at those previous seasonal jobs, and I'm just going to kind of repeat the cycle and try to see new places traveling between each of those jobs. So that's how I'm doing it, guys. I will touch on what I've come up for an average of monthly living expenses total with all my bills, gas, food, spending about $600 to $650 a month on average, living on the road, traveling full-time. So that's what it's costing me, guys. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments. I hope everyone's doing good out there. And, you know, sorry if I didn't touch on anything that you were expecting me to. Let's see if there's anything I've missed. I think I covered the vehicle expenses. So yeah, I think that's it, guys. Once again, if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments. And we'll be seeing you guys again soon. Take care. Peace.